Night out on the town looks a lot different for many of us these days. Instead of drawing straws to see who's going to be the designated driver, people are turning to services like Uber and Lyft to take the danger out of driving after a few drinks. April is Alcohol Awareness Month, and as someone dies every 48 seconds at the hands of a DUI driver, we wanted to take a look to see if these types of services are actually helping. Take a look at trends over the past 5 years here in PA. In 2013, drunk drivers caused just over 11,000 accidents with nearly 8,000 injuries and 381 deaths. You can see those numbers trend downward throughout the years, about 10,300 DUI accidents in 2017. And look at the deaths and injuries, nearly 100 fewer deaths and about 1,500 fewer injuries compared to 5 years ago. While it seems like we're on a good path, we still have a lot of work to do. And here today to talk about the impact the DUI accident has on families is Chris Larsen, a personal injury attorney with Georgia Injury Law Firm in Lancaster. Chris, I know you've seen all of this, the life-changing injuries, the emotional strain, the financial strain that these accidents and crashes can have on families. What do you see when clients come into your office?
I do, Matt, and thank you very much for having us here today, because this is a very important topic. What I've seen over 20 years as an attorney here in central Pennsylvania, I've represented the interests of victims both as a prosecutor for many, many years and now as a personal injury attorney. And what I've seen over the years is so many times people make the mistake of not having proper representation from the beginning. And making that mistake of not having proper representation from the beginning can lead people to be in a position where either you can't pay your bills, you can't pay your mortgage, you end up in a position where you can't find work because you're no longer in a position where you can do the job that you used to do. And in order to prevent those situations, people need to have proper representation.
So when someone is involved in a crash where there are injuries, what do you suggest that they do? They
need to hire an advocate from the very beginning. As we're talking about DUI and DUI crashes in the area, certainly the police are there, the district attorneys are there to protect an individual's interest when it comes down to the criminal side of matters. However, you also have to be aware of the civil side, because another thing that I see often is that individuals who are injured or families who have an individual who's injured or even killed in these types of accidents don't recognize the fact that the criminal justice system can only do so much. Restitution does not pay for pain and suffering or lost wages. So you have to have proper representation from the beginning.
How often do you come across, and maybe this is a part of what you were just saying in terms of proper representation, how often do you come across people that don't know how to necessarily talk to police, don't know how to file a report correctly, things of that nature where maybe they undersell a little bit of how injured they are?
Oftentimes, and that's why it's important for individuals to call an attorney like myself at the Georgia Injury Law Firm, because you want to have that representation. We'll go out to a hospital. We will talk with individuals from the very beginning to make sure that their rights are being protected. So in a situation like this, if you're involved in an accident, what an individual needs to do is make sure a police report is generated. Do not underplay or downplay the injury. So many times you have an individual who wants to be stoic and wants to say, no, I'm okay. That's not what you need to say at that moment. When you're in an accident, you need to deal with what you have suffered.
Is that just because that lessens your chance of getting paid, seeking restitution, things like that?
Well, an individual needs to make sure they're getting the treatment they need. That's first and foremost. But yes, it also can cut into an individual's ability to be compensated properly down the road, because if you start saying, yes, I'm okay, I'm fine, days, weeks, even a year later, somebody can say to themselves, I'm in a lot of pain, my neck hurt, my back hurt back then, but I didn't say anything. You need to make sure that you address those issues up front.
Where can people go for more information on your information on Georgia List? Where's the best place to contact?
You can go to our Facebook, Georgia List Law. You can go to our website, georgialistlaw.com, and find a lot of this information. And it's very important, again, that individuals protect their rights up front. And that's why if you call an attorney like myself, we provide free consultations, and we will take the responsibility of dealing with everything that comes with being being in an accident up front, because it can be overwhelming to folks. And what we do initially is we file a representation letter to make sure that those insurance companies and all the other parties know to contact us, so you, as the accident victim or the family of a member of an individual who's been injured, don't have to deal with that.
Chris Larsen from Georgia List Law Firm in Lancaster. April Alcohol Awareness Month. Thank you so much for providing some great information.
My pleasure being here.
Fox 43 Morning News. We'll be right back.